Let's play that again. Just pay attention to two things. First of all, this was a few days ago.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations,
Dramatic pause.
is over.
Oh, more pause.
What exactly the United States does next is unclear.
Repeat
But what is clear,
right now.
what is clear, is that we, as Canadians, have agency.
Oh, we have
We
agency.
have power.
We have power.
We are
You
masters.
can do it. This was barely a few days ago. It might have been last week, but I couldn't verify the exact date. Our relationship with the U.S., as we knew it, is over. But what is clear? What is clear? Dramatic pause taken from the Obama playbook. We need to become autonomous, and we can't rely on America anymore. And what just happened this morning? This morning. Bear in mind, people are entitled to evolve over time. They're entitled to change their positions, their views when new facts come in. It was a few days ago at that Mark Carney was talking about how the relationship with the US, as we once knew it, is over. He's been talking about finding alternative relations, international, for about a month now, since he started running after being the anointed Prime Minister of Canada. That was 3 days ago. This is this morning. Mark J. Carney, circus freak. This morning, I spoke with President Trump. No, not even a read my message, just very cryptic. And wait until you read this. It reads like it was written by an AI bot, because that's what Mark Carney is. He's a human. I'm sure he's a very nice person, good to his grandkids. He is a bot that is being packaged and sold to the Canadian people. And if you buy that product, you are an idiot. And I apologize for insulting any Canadian who thinks it's in their best interest to vote for this globalist hooer. He is being packaged and sold to you exactly like Kamala Harris was packaged and sold to you. 3 days ago, 4 days ago, our relationship with the US, as we once knew it, is over. He is not talking to Trump until Trump shows Canada the respect that it deserves. This morning, I spoke with President Trump, and my AI bot wrote this following answer. Hey, AI, draft a response as though I am the Prime Minister of Canada, having engaged in forceful discussions with Donald Trump. Oh, I can't do that, Mr. Carney, because that's impossible. I'm AI. I'm not a magician. This is what the Honorable Mark Carney has to say. Today, the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, spoke with the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. What the hell is this? He's writing in the third person? Today, I, the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, spoke with the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. The Prime Minister and the President had a very constructive conversation about the relationship between our two countries. I'm sorry, I thought it was over as we once knew it. Oh, what's that? Change a little tact? Bend the knee, kiss the ring, Mark J. Carney? The leaders agreed to begin comprehensive negotiations about a new economic and security relationship following the election. In the interim, the leaders agreed that conversations between the Minister of International Trade and Intergovernmental Affairs and the President of the King's Privy Council for Canada, Dominique LeBlanc, and the United States Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, will intensify to address immediate concerns. The Prime Minister told the President that he would be working hard for the next month to earn the right to represent Canada in those discussions. The Prime Minister informed the President that his government will implement retaliatory tariffs to protect Canadian workers and our economy following the announcement of additional U.S. trade actions on April 2nd, 2025. Go to the second paragraph, please, people. The leaders agreed to begin comprehensive negotiations about a new economic and security relationship immediately following the election. That's really funny. I thought I heard Mark Carney and the Liberals and all the other Trump haters out there saying, we don't have to renegotiate. We already have a NAFTA agreement. We don't have any border issues. It's all a pretext. Mark J. Carney, the interim anointed Prime Minister, after having railed against Trump for not showing respect to Canada, refusing to sit down and talk with him until he shows the requisite respect, 3 days ago, saying the relationship is over as we knew it, has now buckled, bent the knee, and basically kissed the Trump ring. And I said, it's gonna cause some meltdowns among Canadians out there. The NPCs who had their new chip planted in. The Liberals, good. Mark J. Carney, good. Donald John Trump, bad. Donald John Trump, the biggest concern for all Canadians. He is the reason why we've been living in financial and economic ruin for the last decade. He's the reason. 74,000 people died while waiting for doctors since 2018 in Canada. He's the reason. 15,000 people died in the ERs over the last 3 or 4 years. It's Donald John Trump's fault and the tariffs that he implemented over the last 2 months that have caused the economic ruin of Canada. And I said when it was coming out, and the Liberals were making a scandal of the tariffs, it was a scandal to distract from their failure. And we're going to get to it. Pierre Poilevre walked right into it like a buffoon who, if I didn't know any better, I would dare say is deliberately trying to lose this election. It's a lot easier to be feckless opposition than it is to be a good leader. Maybe he's gotten a little too comfortable with that feckless opposition stance. I don't actually think he's throwing it to the Liberals, but if he were trying to throw it to the Liberals, I don't know what he would be doing differently. Let's take a brief pause from this vlog for a word from our sponsor, 1775 Coffee. People, what if your morning cup of coffee didn't just taste delicious and wake you up? What if it actually made you younger? It sounds like BS. Well, 1775 went ahead and made something called Rejuvenate. And no, it's not some scam cooked up in a lab by a bunch of hacks trying to sell you snake oil. It's got something called CAAKG, clinically proven to fight aging at the cellular level. You're still getting the same freedom-fueled 1775 coffee you love, single origin, small batch, and ethically sourced from the kinds of farms that you know hate big government as much as you do. But now it boosts energy, fires up your metabolism, and can crank back your biological clock a number of years in just a matter of months. And yes, according to 1775, this is backed by studies. They are not just making this stuff up. 1775 Rejuvenate officially launches on April 15th, but you can lock in your pre-order now. And bear in mind that every dollar you spend at 1775 Coffee gets you entered in the raffle to win that beautiful Tesla Cybertruck and $30,000 cash. Head over to 1775coffee.com/Viva. The promo code Viva gets you 15% off. So start drinking tastier coffee, getting younger today, and having a chance to win that beautiful Tesla Cybertruck. Thank you to our sponsor, 1775, and now back to the vlog. Plant in that chip, NPC brains melt down. Mark J. Carney, after pledging to fight Donald Trump, is now agreeing and discussed this morning that they've effectively announced that they're going to renegotiate NAFTA, that they're going to address border concerns. And I don't know if Trump is going for the double super fakey here, because this truth post from Trump pissed everybody off. Left and right. Although I have seen more of the pissed off from the right than from the left. Donald John Trump, I verified that it was real on Truth Social, where I will be posting a lot more these days, knowing that Trump actually reads the replies down there. Truths. Posts. I just finished speaking with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. It was an extremely productive call. We agree on many things, and we'll be meeting immediately after Canada's upcoming election to work on elements of politics, business, and all other factors that will end up being great for both the United States of America and Canada. Thank you for your attention to this matter. To which I just had to astutely observe, so do liberals now hate Carney, or do they now love Trump? I actually saw a response to this, a liberal sycophant, and I'm fairly certain a paid political propagandist, say, look at that. Donald Trump didn't refer to him as Governor Carney. He referred to him as Prime Minister Carney. That's the level of respect that globalist whore Mark Carney commands from Donald Trump. Oh my goodness. It's why liberals are, I say idiots. They're politically illiterate, and they are humorless buffoons. But set that aside. I don't know exactly what the play is here, but following my interview with Harrison Fields, Trump's deputy communications officer, I forget the exact name. Stay tuned for the full vlog of that interview. He said to me, let him cook. It might have actually been his director of, said, let Trump cook, in the sense of let Trump do what Trump does. I don't know if this is a double fakie to try to make Carney now look like he's bent the knee, kissed the ring, which he has. I don't know if it's a double fakie to try to make people hate Mark Carney, if it's another kick in the butt for Pierre Poilievre, because had Pierre Poilievre not struck an unnecessarily belligerent tone vis-a-vis his relations with Donald Trump, he might have been on that call talking about what might happen after the next election. And God have mercy on Canada if Mark Carney, that globalist pig, actually wins the election. God have mercy on Canada, but my goodness, if Canadians are stupid enough to vote for that, they will get the destruction that they're voting into office. I don't know what the angle is on this. It is very much premature to say who he's going to be discussing with after the next election. But if the Liberals manage to win, it really means that Canadians deserve a Liberal government. Is he doing it on purpose? Who the heck knows? But one thing is for certain. It's not as though Donald Trump doesn't know that Mark Carney is a globalist, WEF Davos attending Bilderberg meeting individual. It's not like he doesn't know it. He does know it. And Trump doesn't like the globalists. So what he's up to in the long play, we'll see. But one thing is for certain. If Pierre Poilievre were trying to throw this election and make it look like he was trying to throw it, what would he be doing differently? Meanwhile, over on Pierre Poilievre's side of things, listen to this and look at his face, by the way. Look at his nervous gulps. It looks like he doesn't even like to say what he's saying. It looks like he doesn't actually believe what he's saying. But he's saying it nonetheless, and it's the stupidest political strategy. I like that. It's like tragedy and strategy. When tragedy meets strategy, you have strategy. Listen to this.
But I have a further message for President Trump.
He's going to talk tough to Trump. He's losing to a freaking commie globalist, and he's going to talk tough on Trump? Here's an idea. Maybe get your lead back in the polls, the 30-point lead that you lost, Pierre. Maybe you do that before you lecture what you're going to do to Trump when you can't even beat the commie. Maybe.
But I have a further message for President Trump. If you decide to go down this road, this is what's going to happen. Yes, you'll do damage to us in the short term, but we will fight back and we will build back. Within 4 years of a new, strong conservative government, Canada will be completely rebuilt. We will rebuild our economy. We will not be reliant on the U.S. anymore.
Reading his words, flubbing his words, and promising that it will take 4 years to come back. That's a great, inspiring message. Fire all of your political consultants, Pierre. After we wreak havoc because I screwed up the initial back and forth with Trump, it'll take 4 years to rebuild. Vote for me now.
And the Americans will have lost the greatest trading partner and friend they ever had. A conservative government will build pipelines and LNG plants, aggressively promote mines and other resource infrastructure that has been blocked for the last 10 years.
He looks terrified.
We'll have new overseas trading partners. We will knock down intraprovincial barriers so that we can trade with ourselves. We will send our goods to our friends on other sides of the oceans of the world. We will cut taxes and speed up permits so that we can sell our oil, gas, mining, lumber, agriculture, fisheries, manufacturing, small businesses and large businesses alike. The world needs our resources and our expertise. If you, Mr. Trump, don't want them, the rest of the world does. Under a new conservative government, we will put Canada first for a change. We will be a nation that is strong, self-reliant, standing on its own 2 feet so that we can stand up for ourselves and stand up to the Americans.
You know what it's like looking at me. It's like, oh my God, I'm swallowed. Did they buy it? Did they buy it? Stand up to the Americans. You know that this is the result of politics bipolar politics. You know that that's what it is. Hey, standing up to the Americans is working for the liberals, conservatives. You better do the same thing, Pierre. I mean, he could have said the exact same thing, cut out all of the anti-Trump rhetoric, cut out all of the anti-American rhetoric, maybe cool it on the we're going to establish new trade partners with Europe and abroad rhetoric, and just say we're going to build a strong, independent Canada. And that means working hand in hand with our American neighbors and addressing their valid, legitimate economic concerns, border concerns, security concerns, because we do have a drug problem in Canada. Pierre, if you wanted to lose it, I don't know what you'd be doing differently. And I guess Pierre is listening to idiot liberals. Here, this is Jeffrey Lufscombe. I've been picking on this guy a bit lately, but if he wanted me to stop picking on him, he just should stop saying such terribly stupid things. Best-selling author, called one of fiction's brightest new stars by HuffPost. New read to refrain from embracing. Chosen best book of the year. What did Jeffrey Lufscombe have to say? I'll be avoiding the U.S. and their products for the foreseeable future. My rule is if any Canadian labor went into a product, it's okay. All American? Nope. Anybody else? Anybody else? Twitter? X? Anybody else on this American-owned, American-designed, American-operated app? Let me go virtue signal as to how much of American products I'm going to boycott on the American app because it has the biggest platform and the biggest bullhorn for me to reach my followers. But, maybe Pierre has been running some polls. What's popular these days? Well, they want to boycott American products. They want to not drink American orange juice, and they want to not travel to Florida to get that sweet, sweet vitamin D. Well, you should jump on that bandwagon. Nah, we're not done yet, by the way. Here's another Canadian, I don't know, who's this person? Tweet, Dr. Ann Kaplan, who's boycotting America too. It's such a terrible country that you get whatever, deported if you're even traveling through. I'm joking, people, but we're going to get to that in a second. We just canceled our Qantas flights to Canada via the US. We'll fly instead on Fly Air New Zealand to avoid the risk of being arbitrarily bailed up, having our phones seized, and being sent into detention while transiting through the USA. Trump's US, indeed. Well, what the hell are they all talking about? Oh, it was quote tweeting a known pro-Ukrainian propagandist. But maybe these are the people that are responding to the polls to which Pierre appears to be responding. So yeah, we better strike that adversarial tone when it comes to Trump. I'm going to see what everyone's thinking about this afterwards, because it's blowing my mind, and it's actually making me very, very dismayed and cynical as to what's going on in Canada, that we've had 10 years of, I will say, civil rights destruction, economic destruction, social cohesion destruction. 1 in 4 Canadian kids living with food insecurity. Top 5 leading cause of death in Canada, government-sanctioned murder. You got people dying in ERs. You got people dying waiting for doctors. You don't have doctors. You got to wait 18 months to 2 years to get a doctor. Income, a stupid tariff threat because of the drug problem and terrorism problem in Canada. And the Liberals, scoundrels like they are, resign, prorogue, anoint, and are now playing the best politics to someone who seems to have just started politicking yesterday. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, that's what's going on in Canada, people. It's not good.